Hi, my name is Gavin Renwick. I'm a Professor of Art and Policy at the University of Dundee, and this is my vision for 2020. I'm fortunate enough to spend half my life in the Canadian Arctic. I work there with Dene First Nation people who themselves have a very articulate, holistic idea of what life should be in the 21st century. Now, this involves a complete vision that integrates self-determination with an ecological vision for a contemporary lifestyle that relates traditional values, traditional knowledge with contemporary environmental technologies. This hybrid vision, I think, is essential to what I can only describe as post-colonialism, and that is linking ideas, cultural ideas with localised decision making and self-government. I was invited there many years ago, 15 years ago, to work with an organisation called the Traditional Knowledge Project. This was at the time where the Klingsho people were negotiating land claim and self-government, the most far-reaching land claim achieved by any Aboriginal people in the North Americas. Now, to articulate their land and their ownership and idea of that land, which is obviously their homeland, this expansive idea of environment, they had to bring in disciplines, Western scientists, social scientists, and people from the humanities. These specialisms collated their ideas into the holistic Klingsho vision of what homeland is, and this is what determined land claim. Now, these values are now informing policy within developing government, and my argument is that design, planning, architecture must be a fundamental part of this process of self-determination. In Scotland, we are going through a similar post-colonial scenario. We got our government back 8 years ago, and what has happened in that 8 years? The first bit of legislation through the Scottish Parliament was land reform. The ownership and utilisation of the land base is fundamental. The idea of the 7% of Scotland's population owning 84% of the land is nonsensical. Now, within that short 7.5–8 year period, we now have community buyouts, community economic, sustainable, social economic reforms of a land base, and Scotland now is overtaking Denmark in relation to the development of sustainable, particularly wind turbine, and in the near future tidal power. And I do believe that's a fundamental aspect of local control of resources. So I guess what I'm saying is planning can be a revolutionary tool, but it does involve a collaborative vision and complete propriety from everyone involved in the process, from the specialists, from government, from the people on the ground, to create that vision. It has to be collectively owned and identified. If that economic, social, environmental vision is to be properly realised, the psychological ownership is as important as the actual ownership. Interestingly, the chairman of IBM Canada recently came to the defence of this liberal vision. When the present Conservative government of Canada criticised the liberal arts tradition of the Canadian University, the chairman of IBM said what companies like IBM need are creative generalists who can make links, and I think that's a fundamental part of the solution, is generalists, critical generalists who can make links across discipline areas, and I think that's fundamentally what many communities need. If you like, a bridge, someone that can kind of make links between disciplines, between languages, between cultures, a cultural intermediary, if you like. And I think that's so important that such ideas aren't driven by vested interests, by specialists.